investors. This is my third speech, so the goal is to get to the point and help you all understand one key message that I'm trying to deliver. I've recently read the book 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard and Stephen Johnson, who wrote Who Moved My Cheese. Ken Blanchard wrote a number of other management books as well. And it stood out to me because I've had a variety of managers over different companies, some that management style was better than others. And this book was a great systematic way, I thought, to relate and deliver feedback to one another. So the three main aspects, at the end of this speech, you should know the three main aspects of the 1 Minute Manager are 1 minute goal settings, 1 minute praisings, and then 1 minute reprimands. And I found these techniques to work in personal life as well as business life. And so they can apply to children or spouses or family and friends as well. So the first aspect is 1 minute goals. And in this, the authors contend when you ask somebody, are you doing a good job at your work, the most common response is something along the lines of, I haven't been chewed out lately by my boss, so I guess I am doing a good job. Or I haven't heard any negative, no response at all, so no response is good response. But this management style, which they said was the #1 technique used in America, is not very motivating to employees to continue good job satisfaction. They call that the leave alone zap method, where most employees are given an assignment and then left alone until they mess up on something. And they mentioned that the #1 motivator of people is feedback on results. It's not the non-deliverance of punishment. And so this book gives you the techniques to give feedback for people's results. They give a helpful analogy for 1 minute goals, similar to, it's like when you're bowling and the manager puts a sheet up in front of the pins. So you can bowl the bowling ball under the sheet and you hear some pins get knocked down, but you don't know the number. So the manager behind the sheet could yell out the number of pins you knocked down. However, most managers don't say the number of pins you knocked down, they say the number of pins you missed. It's just like if a child comes home with a report card of all A's and 1 D, they usually talk about the D more than the rest of the A's. And they say the system is broken because the managers don't want to remove the sheet so you can obviously see what you missed and what you got right. They don't want to remove the sheet because of how performance reviews are usually done. They're usually done where only a very few percent can get the maximum score, a few percent get the minimum, and then everyone else is on this bell curve in the middle range. They don't necessarily set it up to where everyone can succeed. And so they're saying the better way for 1 minute goals is to give people no more than 5 goals in 250 words or less. And the two main aspects are to not only give the goals, tell them what's expected of them, but also to show them what good performance standards look like on a daily basis. And that's the aspect that stood out to me, is the manager going over what specifically does good performance look like, to give everyone a chance to accomplish it. Now the second aspect is 1 minute praisings. In this, they give 4 main aspects to the praising of giving it immediately. And don't save the praising for performance review time, or don't save it for later. But also, the second aspect of 1 minute praising is to be specific and not just say you did a good job, but say specifically what they did right, and then share your feelings on what they did right. This is the aspect I have the most problem with my personality, is to share how it made you feel. So their example was something like, I'm glad you got that report in on time because it helped me get my work done on time as well. Or I'm grateful that you took on more responsibilities at the meeting. And then leave them with an encouragement to keep doing something right, to encourage them at the end to keep it up. So people that feel good about themselves produce better results. If you feel like a star, you're more likely to keep being more motivated to do well in the job. Then they suggest that this concept of 1 minute praisings is specifically important when you first start training somebody. So if they're not sure how to get to the end result, praise the steps that they took to get to the result. They equate it to it might sound demeaning, but like training an animal. If you want a bird to get to the other side of the cage and ring a bell, you don't just only give the bird a reward when he goes to the other side of the cage and rings the bell. You give him a reward once he passes a line that you've drawn. And then once he passes the next line in the cage, give them the reward. And then the bird will eventually learn that you want him to go all the way to the other side of the cage. So you tell a person what you want them to do, show them what good performance looks like, delegate part of the task to them, but then observe. So the key point to one-minute praising is trying to catch somebody do something right. Instead of leaving them alone after giving them a task, try to catch them doing something right to encourage their behavior. And the third aspect of a one-minute manager is one-minute reprimands. There's 4 main aspects of this also for one-minute reprimands. To talk to the person immediately after the behavior occurred, and not to store up reprimands all at once. They suggest not to give a praising and then the reprimand and then a praising at the end, like a sandwich style that I've heard about before, because when you do that, the person will quickly catch on that that's what you're trying to do, and they'll just wait for the other shoe to drop and not really listen to your first praising. So you want to give them immediately, then be specific, not just give them general statements and then tell them that they should know why you're upset with them. But it's appropriate to share your feelings and maybe say I'm frustrated that you didn't get that reporting on time, because then they put more pressure on me to get my part in on time. And then the last step to a one-minute reprimand is to reinforce the person at the end. Not reinforce the behavior necessarily, but reinforce the person that you're one of my best employees. I know you're capable of doing this on time. And that's the aspect I often forget to leave out with my spouse or whoever else I might be trying to reprimand. Because I'm not a manager at work, I apply most of these to my spouse, unfortunately. So it helps me to understand how to share my specific feelings and also always reinforce the person at the end. So in conclusion, I wanted to leave you with the 3 aspects of one-minute manager. Does anybody remember one of the 3 aspects? Or anyone?
Goals.
1-minute goals, the first one. 1-minute praisings. And then the last one we just talked about, reprimands. 1-minute reprimands. And the other helpful conclusion they came to was that manipulation occurs when people don't know what you're doing to them. So it actually recommends the managers to give these steps that you plan to do to your employees. Give them these techniques ahead of time so that they know what you're going to be doing, so they don't feel like you're trying to manipulate behavior or whatnot. I found that to be helpful as well. And I wrote a book report on it. If anybody wants a copy of it, you can get it as a summary. Otherwise, it's just a 100-page book, so you can read it. So, thank you very much.